Why, hello everybody, and today is Thursday, August 22nd, and we are just near downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan. Today we're going to walk to the north, probably along Division Street. It's fairly warm out right now, probably about 75 in the sun. Well, here's the traffic backed up along Jefferson as we walk to the north. It's not too bad. Kind of seems to build up and then clear out. They are doing work here, pan you guys around, at the Kent Human Services building. I think they're doing some drainage repair. So I have kind of made the decision to take my time in replacing the camera. We are still on the smartphone, unfortunately, for vlogging, but hopefully I can hold it fairly steady. I can see it's out of balance. But at any rate, I'm not in any kind of rush to replace that. Excuse me. I'm not in any kind of rush to replace that. Because I'm noticing the prices on what I'm looking for are kind of on the lower side and seem to be maybe getting lower, so I'd rather wait and see if a good deal comes up. Maybe on something newer, although I doubt it. The budget's just not there. We'll probably try to purchase the exact same camera again, since I have spares and parts and batteries. Well, that does mean that there's probably not going to be a lot of new content for a little while, so I apologize to anybody who's just subscribed. That's just how the cookie crumbles. It's happened to quite a few YouTubers over the while, having to cut out, but you know, at least I communicate with you guys and let you know when I'll be starting up again. So we'll walk north. I don't know, we'll see. If I have the energy, it's not super hot, so we might make it up to Riverside Park. Honestly, I think we just play it by ear. It's stupid to talk about where I'm gonna go when I'm not absolutely sure. Always nice to see happy people. As we continue to walk Jefferson to the north. Jefferson, of course, runs parallel to Division. It's just a little quieter to walk along. And of course, the real nice thing is the intersections are a little less busy. Might have to rebalance you guys. I don't like the way this is wibbling and wobbling around. That's a little bit better. It's more stable than it would be without the gimbal, that's for sure. I'm going to continue cutting you guys in and out because it'll make the battery last longer. I do enjoy the live stream style, but you guys, a large number of visitors tend not to watch much more than 2 to 4 minutes. If I had something interesting to talk about, I'd walk and talk about something interesting, but I just don't. Plus this angle, I don't like this angle. Plus I have to one-hand the camera. Yeah, is new. It appears they're going to turn this parking into additional hospital buildings, which I really hope have a parking structure. It seems like all of our parking lots here are getting turned into buildings that don't have nearly as much parking as they replace. man, they really need to trim the trees through here too. I'm gonna keep you guys rolling through this intersection because it's always a little nuts. And let's cut over a road and head through the campus of the it's a big church campus over here that I like to walk through. And the camera still feels out of balance, but that could be the wind. I also didn't bother to grab a wind muff again. I'm sorry, guys. The buildings on the left here are all new development. On the right we have the Diocese of Grand Rapids. It was part of the large church campus here, which includes a traditional church building along with a school campus. And I believe that is Grand Rapids Catholic, if I'm remembering right. But we've turned to walk to the west, and now we'll turn and walk north again. We're going to avoid, again, going over to Division. In fact, I probably should have avoided coming this far over regardless. We do have some little kind of hot spots of, I guess, what the TT&T and everybody, Johnny, all labeled dinguses. Some of them are more understandable than the others. We might walk back over to Jefferson to continue our walk north. You know, let's cut over to Division. I think the school season might have started. Can't remember when school season starts, but I usually try to let the students have their privacy, especially when hanging out on campus. So we will go west one more half block over to Division and then walk Division north. I'm gonna cut you guys in and out still. Interesting things do or don't happen. Being midweek, there might not be a large concentration of people downtown. And there's the Dash clockwise. The Dash bus system is the free bus system that runs in a loop through downtown Grand Rapids here. That'll run between the Dash parking lots, which are pay parking lots, which you can park and then hop on the Dash to get the rest of the way into town, as the metered parking is often difficult to find. One of the normal rapid routes. The rapid is the rest of the transit and bus system we have here in Grand Rapids. Each one of those routes running from the central station and looping out around the Grand Rapids greater area. Now, most of the buildings through this section of Division are still older original buildings. Some have been rehabbed. There's this block of condos on the corner here. That is a new construction in the past 4 years. I want to say possibly 2. Large number of storefronts here and art stores. Vertigo Music on the other side of the street. This has been a long time staple of the area. The Harris Building here. We have quite a few event and wedding venues in Grand Rapids. And this is an art gallery, although I don't know anything about this art gallery here. This is new. Windows into Creativity. Here, let's get a picture of this. As we continue walking to the north, try to cover the microphone up. The wind is getting pretty bad there, which means I have to one-hand the camera. You know, let's cut down into further to the west. I think I've shown you guys a little bit less of this area. Ooh, try not to just be panned at the building. Shown you a little less of this area. Again, this kind of tends to be this side of Division to the west and south of Leonard, I believe it is. Tends to be a little more dingusy. Very nice. Oh, I like that color too. That was a first generation Corvette, I think. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Now, Studio Park is the tall tower you're seeing in the distance there. But we're gonna turn and we're gonna walk north. Again. And a large number of both old and new buildings here, including the Pyramid Scheme, pretty well-known event venue. And Stella's Lounge, some leftover art prize as well. Stella's Lounge is, and this is all of course new just here, but Stella's has always been kind of a cheap burger and beer place. They do a really nice, like, vegetarian burger. Get kind of a peek at their little patio here. Hey. And that's Stella. They do a nice, what did I do last? Black bean burger. It's been years since I've eaten there. Kind of out of my budget with the way rent has been. That's not my favorite place to eat. That's, honestly, downtown, Beacon Corner Bar. You guys have seen me go there. We'll cut west one more block and I'll show you a couple more burger and beer joints that I like. Just ahead of us, if we kept walking that way, that would be Beacon Bar up that way. Some cool mural work over here too as well, except I don't know the artist or the name of the mural. The back of the old Richmond Stamp building. come up on Ionia here. We're just behind Van Andel Arena. And I don't know what that guy's doing, driving in the wrong lane. But we're gonna walk to the north again as we... I think that's 2 cases of beer I would owe a crew if I had a crew, because my phone's rang now twice while filming. But we'll press on as we walk to the north along Ionia here. Again, it's a mixture of older buildings and some rehabilitated buildings, including the Blodgett building, a former home of Grand Rapids Brewing Company, also on the west side of the street here. Fortunately, they did close. I think over the last winter, they had a small kitchen fire, which was kind of a coffin nail. We do have a Buffalo Wild Wings here as well, which, you know, it has its purpose. It's fairly stock commercial affair. So we're going to turn here and we will walk further to the west over to the Grand River. And we'll likely walk the Grand River north. Again, Van Andel Arena here. A lot of missing bricks from the sidewalk here. That kind of seems like something you could get litigious about. Directly ahead of us with the chimneys there, that is a Vicinity energy plant. I believe it produces steam heat for some buildings downtown, although I could have misunderstood the explanation of what they do there. They might just produce electricity. And of course, on our right-hand side, the Bob. And formerly 20 Monroe Live, now GLC Live. Next to yet another condo tower. And the last extension of the Grand Rapids indoor walkway here as well, you can see just above. That section is usually closed unless there's an event at Van Andel Arena. But otherwise, that indoor walkway allows you to walk from this end of downtown, about the 5 or 10 minute journey to the north end of the downtown core. Bring you basically from Van Andel Arena to the Pantlind Amway Grand Plaza Hotel. Another large condo tower here as we continue walking to the west. I'm going to pause you. All right, and we're going to resume walking to the west over to the Grand River. Actually, on second thought, I know we've walked this several times, but let's walk the indoor walkway one more time. We're at the it's the southmost point that you can normally enter. Oh, and this apparently has hours now, 5 to 10. So again, this section to your left, typically only open when there's an event. And here's a map. We're just down here. Obviously we can't go all the way to the arena as there's no event. Actually, I might stop and take a drink of my water. Actually, some pretty cool views from up here. This does get absolutely packed with people. I don't know how easy it is to tell. This is not a very large walkway, but it just absolutely is packed with people on like a event night. I'm gonna pause you guys while I get a drink of water. First our beverage today will be some homemade sparkling water. Wrapped up in my backpack, it stays nice and cold. Okay. Get my little battery operated fan out. I'm not overheated, but I gotta tell you, this backpack is unpleasant. So I'm gonna bust out my little battery operated fan. My phone don't need it, but I do. Hopefully it does not interfere with the lav mic. Let's see what we can do about that. I should probably play this back and see if I can hear it. Okay, I could definitely hear the lav mic picking up the fan, so I have it on low. Oh, we'll continue walking the skywalk to the north. This isn't anything like the Path network in Toronto. It's actually pretty straightforward. There are a lot of entrances and exits to it, but there is really only one path forward. Once you get to the Pantlind, it is difficult to find the connector between the Pantlind and the event center further to the north of there. The DeVos Performance Hall does connect to that Pantlind, but again, that's a section that's typically only open when there are events happening. And the staff of the Pantlind is maybe not the nicest in the world to people passing through. There's where we connect to the courtyard. There's a little more signage in here than I was in here last. Excuse me, that was a bad sentence. There's a bit better signage in here now compared to last time. do like the ultra wide on this. That was an option I did not have on my DSLR. So I would have had to buy something between a $300 and $600 lens to be able to do that previously. A view to the east as we enter 99 Monroe on our way to the north. We are on the second floor here. So you do have to take stairs or find one of the elevators. But there's a Z's Patio, along with K-Rock. It's a Korean barbecue place that's new to the area. I hope I'm not panning you guys too fast. Well, looks like they're doing some construction work here. I believe MLive's offices are here as well. That's one of the very commercial news organizations located in Michigan. I use the phrase news organizations very loosely there. I apologize if you work for them. They tend to be very commercial. Sell a set of elevators here. Yeah, there's like a million times more signage through here. All right, we're gonna pass through the lobby of the hotel and then step out onto Monroe Center. Hang on just a second, I wanna secure my bag. This section of the walkway has this wrap around it, so just like on a city bus, you can't see much outside. I think that's to help. I'm gonna hold you guys a little lower as we walk through this lobby. Might be a little bit more unstable, but they have the right to tell me not to film in here, so. Ooh, there must be an event going on. All right, we want stairs. I've shown you guys the inside of this building before during Art Prize. Art Prize is when I would recommend popping in here. It's a little more open during Art Prize than otherwise. We'll just come over here to the lobby before we go out onto Monroe. I don't know if you guys can see. It's a cute little lobby bar here, but the backlighting's terrible. We'll pass back through here again one of these days when there is when there's Art Prize in the building. It's a little less likely that someone's going to ask me not to film. So come out on the Pearl Street entrance here and we'll walk now east over to Monroe. where I kind of originally planned on walking out. I wanted to show you guys that other entrance. Well, that was nice getting a little burst of air conditioning as well. So I'm going to turn this fan off, save its battery. And there's the section of the skywalk we just passed through as we walk to the east, just near Rosa Parks Circle here at the intersection of Pearl, Monroe, and Monroe Center, Breonna Taylor Way. And I'm going to miss this light. I need to cross here because of the sidewalk closure. So we will pause you guys for just a moment while I wait for this light to change. One more look at McKay Tower. All right, and let's begin our walk to the north. The sidewalk closure is a nightmare. People are just walking around it because it's not marked on either end of the block. You literally have to get on top of that sidewalk closure before you know that it's coming. I don't know why they don't mark that at the end of the block. That's odd. And again, more people are just having to walk around this because they don't have it marked far enough down the sidewalk. And this entire block here that you're looking at is Vandenberg Center. It encompasses a couple of these office tower buildings, along with the Fifth Third building, which I believe Fifth Third is the only tenant left in that building. That's not why it's named that, just a coincidence. Oh, they do have it marked down this end. The sidewalk's closed. So on your left here, this would be the performance hall side of DeVos Performance Hall. Further to the north, that would be the large convention center. Also located here, Rome. This one I'll have to try eating at one of these days. Oh, sorry, I'm being inarticulate. And there is quite a few people down here. They must have, must be an event going. Two parking ramps here side by side. One is privately owned and the other is the government center ramp. If you're getting parking validated, you definitely don't want to mix them up. So I've mentioned before on these walks, but this isn't a building to our left. It's a giant parking structure. And then from the other side of the road, it doesn't look like a building, it just looks like a park and a parking structure. It's rather clever. And the entrance to the DeVos Center. And the city and county administration building up above there, as well as down below. I'll have to look and see if I can't tell what event is going on. I don't think they understand how heavy this thing I'm carrying is. That would have ended very badly for them if they had crashed into me. Especially since there's about 35 pounds of shit in my backpack too. Honestly, among the things that I would change about Grand Rapids is that they would have never brought those scooters in. They've been nothing but a nightmare. in my opinion at least. Oh, the federal courthouse and several other government buildings on this corner of Vandenberg Center. And then opposite of us, the building with the pretty top there. That is the former Row Hotel. This is now just known as the Row Building. That's home of Atwater Brewing. We're gonna turn and we're gonna walk to the north, or excuse me, to the east. The Michigan State University campus extension here. And this is all newer buildings in the past couple of years. All along the, what would be the north side of what's called Michigan Street. But that turns into Bridge Street as it crosses west. And there's a look at one of the federal courthouses. And I'm going to turn this fan on because I'm getting warm again. And I feel the camera is coming slightly unbalanced again. I'm going to pause you in a moment, I think, and rebalance. But that's a look up the Medical Mile to the east. And then the Sachia Center, I think I'm pronouncing that right. More of Michigan State University there, along with I believe this is Federal Administration Building. I don't want to go all the way up this hill, so we will turn and we'll walk probably south again as you get a look back towards the Grand Valley. To the west. I'm going to pause you guys for just a minute. Of Division Avenue here now, next to Emmanuel Lutheran. Just behind that would be the DeVos Children's Hospital, if I remember correctly. And then beyond that would be the Grand Rapids Community College parking ramp. That is your view to the south. Excuse me, I misspoke. That was the Van Andel Institute, not the Children's Hospital. I believe the Children's Hospital is very near it. There's not a lot in the way of restaurants over here. The hill, no one wants to come over this way. Actually makes it a good spot to look for parking as long as you're willing to walk. And of course, you can't use any of the meters anymore. Thousands of dollars that they spent buying meters, and now they're all bagged. And you can just make out the Calder between the buildings here. Zoomed in that whole time. Okay, well, we made it off onto the side street. I don't know how much of that got ruined. I was zoomed in and didn't know. Well, I should have known. There might be a little jump there. It's a good thing we're not doing this live. If there was a chat on this phone, I wouldn't be able to see it. We'll look at the Van Andel Institute. We're now walking south on Division, which they have repaved some of the worst spots here. That's very nice. This was an awful bumpy, lumpy section, although they paved right to the rounding the curve here. I'm not sure if that was intentional. It seems like you'd want a curb between the sidewalk and a major thoroughfare. I'm gonna look up Crescent Street to the top of the hill. You can just maybe make out the medevac pad up there. But I think what we'll do is we'll cross Division and go to the other side here first, and then cross Division. One of the things you do want to remember in Grand Rapids here is that pedestrians do get the right of way at crossings. And you probably should have parked your car further from downtown, so you didn't have to deal with any of the nonsense down here. So parking down here is always horrible. Parking in the sidewalks and people's driving in general. We'll cross over to the Calder here. Oh, sorry. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. Just about walking into people. And here you can see Grand Rapids Community College again. That's their large parking structure. The campus is just behind that up the hill. And the Kent County Courthouse here as well, which we're gonna cut through this alleyway so we can walk over to the Calder, because that sounds like fun. Ooh, that wind is nice. We do have a little bit of a wind picking up coming from the south. No prices. Curious about that Express Cafe, but not if they're not going to put prices on their menu. What's going on over here on the Calder Plaza? We'll walk over there real quick, check it out. Which they might be setting up or tearing down from an event from last week. Polish Festival? Yeah, it looks like it was either Polish Festival or will be. We're going to continue our walk to the south, and I'm going to pause you guys because my shoe's untied. And again, this entire block is known as Vandenberg Center. From the Fifth Third building here over to the government buildings that we walked past earlier. This is kind of, I would call this to the north end of downtown. Just next to the Kent County Courthouse, that is the Warner Norcross building. Previously, Warner Norcross Judd. I'm not sure why the name changed. I can only imagine a partner retired. And then the Fifth Third building here. Which I believe the only tenant left in that building is Fifth Third, along with a DGX, which is just a more expensive version of the Dollar General store. We come up on Lyon here, and we'll cross Lyon to the south as we walk along Ottawa. Let's make sure this truck gets around without, yeah. Okay. I think we'll end the video over by Van Andel Arena. We're going to walk past Sundance Cafe here. And Webster's Market, one of the few convenience stores down here. Along with the Homewood Suites. And Tupelo Honey, which does Southern style cuisine. I've heard good things about them. I've only tried a couple things from there, and I've never dined there. Here's the Sundance in their patio. We're now on the other side of McKay Tower, to the east of it. We kind of walk a loop. All right, let's try that one more time. I have to fully admit, this is take two. We just walked a little section and I forgot to hit record. Madcap Coffee and Local Mocha. That'll be the Grand Rapids Art Museum on the left side, the south side of the street. Along with Cinco de Mayo and their outdoor patio. And the Ledyard. Deja vu. I feel like I just recorded this and we're doing it a second time. And Uccello's outdoor patio here as well. It's another one I haven't had the opportunity to eat at yet. Now we're just across from Rosa Parks Circle. So we'll go ahead and cross Breonna Taylor Way here. And the entrance to the Grand Rapids Art Museum here. As we continue walking south. Nudge this camera back into balance. That breeze is about the only thing keeping me cool enough today. This fan is helping a little. The sun is behind a little bit of a cloud cover now. Slightly better. More excellent mural work left over, I believe, from one of the art. I don't know if that's a very good shot of it, but the best we can do. Bring you guys back out to ultra wide. I don't know why they call the widest setting 0.5 and then the next one up 1x. Wouldn't be the most zoomed out be 1x and then it'd go up from there? Did Samsung think that was going to be confusing to people? Hang on, I want to look at what time it is. It's only about, 5:30. We'll just wait for this light to change. Leo's here as well, another place I haven't had an opportunity to try yet. Well, I think we're coming to the end of the walk now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that walk through downtown Grand Rapids. If you did, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more like it, please subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Residence Inn, another one of the hotels here in downtown. And we're back over on Fulton Street. Well, that is a terrible place to park a van. It's almost like somebody should give them a ticket. Across Fulton here, and I might get a beer at Beacon. So look down Fulton here at the intersection of Fulton and Commerce, looking to the west as we wait for this light to change. Just in case somebody tries to turn and come this way. They do have Division tore up just over here.